come here today to discuss a difficult challenge and one which has received an enormous amount of publicity in public and private debate over the last several months. Our nation's policy toward homosexuals in the military.
When President Clinton implemented the don't ask, don't tell policy, most people think of it as long as you don't ask someone or that person doesn't tell, that's it. That's all there is to it.
Now that the war on terror is underway, should the military's don't ask, don't tell policy be reconsidered? Discharged from the Air Force in 1996 after being accused of being gay. But the question is a simple one. Did you tell anybody you were gay?
I did not tell anyone.
That's good. Because that's a policy. Don't ask, don't tell. You don't tell, then you should be able to serve.
When he asked, he violated the very policy that I had come. All of my safety and security was wrapped up in those 4 little words.
Don't ask, don't tell, don't work. Under the policy, the mere perception, the mere accusation that you are gay is more than enough to trigger an intrusive investigation into your private life, and it's more than enough to end your career.
The core values of all 5 branches of the military service talks about being honest, respect, integrity. But we have a policy that contradicts that to say tell a lie.
The whole policy was flawed because it has no integrity for the individual, and it was a doomed program.
To kick me out simply because somebody thought that I might be gay and wanted to ask me about it when I had done nothing to show it, when I had done nothing wrong at all.
This is what I call a witch hunt, that a good number of the 10,000 or so people who have been discharged are being discharged because they have been harassed. They have been pursued.
People actually disappeared in the middle of the night from the academy. Literally in the middle of the night, they would be gone. And later you would find out it was because they were gay. We chucked out valedictorians and captains of varsity teams in high schools, amazing athletes.
I had heard reports that linguists were one of the things that the military needed most. My decision to join the military was really from my heart.
How many people are willing to raise their hand and come forward and say that they're willing to serve and to die for their country?
Bottom line, I have no problem with dying for my country, serving my country. I've been married for the past 6 years to a straight woman, and that is just to put a cover, to affront to the military. My ex-boyfriend's been blackmailing me for 4 years. I support him now financially. I worry every day whether today will be the day that my ex decides to actually tell my command about me.
Why is it that we're shutting the door on a group of people simply because of their sexual orientation?
Do you believe that homosexuality is compatible or incompatible with military service?
Think about open homosexuality in the inner setting is incompatible.
And it's not only the straight soldier that is uninformed about gays. It's also the often older commander that's uninformed about gays. They don't study gays. They are informed also by the mythologies of their childhood.
What Jimmy didn't know was that Ralph was sick, a sickness that was not visible like smallpox, but no less dangerous and contagious. Ralph was a homosexual.
So no wonder they were worried. The mythology makes them sound pretty unpleasant. And if they glare at you, and if they try to rape you, and all of these things, they'll make you gay.
An outside Christian group, an evangelical association, got together and produced this video called The Gay Agenda and presented this to the chaplains board, which the chaplains distributed throughout all the military bases to say, here, this is what you get if you allow gays to serve openly.
Chaplain S took out a video and popped it in while all the freshmen are eating pizza in this squadron assembly room. Immediately opens up with these images of gay people in a parade. This was a video specifically set out to keep the ban going on gay people in the military.
It poisoned the decision process.
The impact of having someone who is sexually attracted to another person of the same sex will be detrimental to the unit cohesion and the morale of that unit.
So when I looked into the issue of how straights would feel with gays around, I became completely convinced that they wouldn't cause a problem for straights. I prepared a written testimony and presented it to the Canadian military. And they Well, they were convinced too. There are only 2 countries in NATO that have a ban against gays in the military today, and that's Turkey and the United States.
The most prominent piece of information on my discharge paperwork is that I was homosexual, not that I served proudly.
Why we're not up in arms about this? If we're stamping homosexual on people's discharge papers, this is what Hitler did.
Hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars are being spent when you add up the 10,000 or so people that we have discharged.
You trained me and educated me, and I left because your military said that I shouldn't be there. Your money is not still in the military. Your money isn't a lieutenant colonel now. Your money isn't a major, isn't a colonel, isn't getting more and more educated and leading our military.
To make that investment in a person and then say, but we don't want your contribution. It's really sad. It's really sad. It really says a lot about how far we haven't come.
This is a human rights issue. This is not a gay issue.
How can we fight for liberty and justice for all if we don't have liberty and justice for ourselves?
To me, it's really un-American.
Liberty and justice for all unless you're gay.